My name is Nancy, and there's a world out there I barely know. As a child, I glimpsed it on TV. Wild animals, breathtaking landscapes, and people speaking different languages. Driven by a desire to see this unknown world up close, I bravely studied abroad during my college years. In my new destination, I found the world I'd been dreaming of. Despite the language barrier, I saw thriving communities, diverse creatures, and stunning vistas. I wanted others to experience this wonder too, so I got a job at a travel agency. I was in charge of tour planning, leveraging my study abroad experiences to handle everything from site inspections to negotiations. It was a whirlwind life, but I managed to balance it well with my personal life. I married Daniel, a colleague, and found a rhythm between work and family. However, a problem arose with my mother-in-law, Barbara. A housewife herself, Barbara believed women should stay home after marriage. While I didn't deny her viewpoint, I found it outdated and told her so. She retorted, "Isn't it a woman's job to support her husband? Do you have a problem with that?" I disagreed, but ultimately, Barbara didn't understand. To avoid conflict, I suggested to Daniel that we buy a house. He readily agreed, and we moved into our own place. But Barbara's visits increased. Every weekend, she would come over, often making noise with Daniel. She never took care of her own husband, Anthony. I wanted to point out the contradiction in her beliefs, but I held my tongue to avoid a fight. One weekend, amidst her usual commotion, Barbara mentioned, "I'm going on a trip next week. Please be careful." Surprised, I asked, "What are you saying, Barbara?" "Nancy, you're coming too," she insisted. "But it's so sudden," I protested. "I have work." "It's a family trip. Aren't in-laws family to you?" she challenged. "That's not what I mean," I stammered. "Then make it happen," she commanded. Seeing me troubled, Barbara booked the hotel and said in a condescending tone, "I forgot to mention, it's London. You've always bragged about working at a travel agency, right?" "I'm not bragging," I replied. "So you can handle it, right?" she pressed. Reluctantly, I agreed to the trip to London. When I studied abroad, I made many contacts. It might be difficult for other countries or regions, but I thought I could manage London. "Okay, I'll try. I have the plane tickets, so just book the hotel." "Ah, you booked the flight, but not the hotel?" I asked. Barbara grinned. "I got the tickets. I exchanged my card miles for first-class tickets." Judging by her joy, it seemed true. Then I noticed piles of branded goods on the sofa. Understanding dawned on me. Hearing first class, Daniel leaned in. "First class? Seriously, Mom?" "Yes, it's a first-class trip abroad," Barbara confirmed. "Awesome. We will leave at 9:30 p.m., so you can work till the last minute," she added, still grinning. It felt odd, but there was no point in lying about the trip. I had to book the hotel properly or she would complain. But finding a hotel on such short notice wouldn't be easy. After some thought, I decided to use my old contacts from my study abroad days to get a hotel referral. Over the phone, I asked, "Can you do it as a favor for Nancy?" "Sure, 4 people, 2 rooms." "Thank you," I replied, successfully booking the hotel. On the day of the trip, I couldn't take the day off due to the short notice. Barbara told me to meet at the airport at 6:00 p.m., so I thought I could wrap up work and make it in time. Suddenly, Barbara called. "Hello, Barbara." "Nancy, are you done with work?" "I'm just leaving the office now, so I'll be at the airport after 6:00 p.m. "Oh, that's too bad." "Ha! Well, we're actually leaving at 6:00 p.m. "No way." I hurried back to my desk and searched the flight schedule on my computer. There was a 9:30 p.m. flight to London, but also a flight leaving just after 6:00 p.m. Could it be this flight? "Yes, so the family is going without you," Barbara confirmed. "If you leave me behind, what about Anthony? You're supposed to be sick." I was furious. How could she plan so thoroughly to exclude me? It was unforgivable, but showing my frustration would play into Barbara's hands. I had to hide my feelings, even if it meant putting on a brave face. I clenched my teeth and said to Barbara, "I'm the one who booked the hotel, so Daniel knows the name. You can't do anything now." I could hear Barbara laughing on the other end. Annoyed, I said, "Go without me then." "That's better. We don't need a useless wife like you." "Useless? What do you mean?" "Don't you know? You neglect housework for your job. Daniel is complaining." True, I was busy with work, but I had never slacked off on housework. Why would Daniel complain? Can I speak to him? Sure. Nancy wants to talk. Barbara's mocking voice was followed by Daniel's. Hello, what's up, Nancy? Daniel, what do you mean you're complaining about me? Just that you're always at work and neglecting me. Neglect? I prepare meals, clean, and do laundry. But you think you're doing it all yourself, right? That's not true. Shouldn't you respect me more, listen to me, do things for me? Huh? I know a wife who supports her husband is valued. It's convenient for the husband, but that's not all there is to a marriage. I never badmouth you in public. I always praise you. But when it's just the two of us, we need to speak our minds. Otherwise, our relationship will fall apart, and I'll become nothing but a servant to you. Daniel kept complaining. So you think you can act all high and mighty because you earn more? Not at all. Anyway, that annoys me, and you're leaving me behind for that. Yeah, consider it stress relief. I'll bring you a souvenir, so don't worry. That's not the point. I was furious. Daniel was clearly taking me for granted. If that's how it is, I have my own plans. Fine, enjoy the trip. Will do. Daniel sounded happy as he hung up. I was livid. I couldn't stand the self-centered Daniel and Barbara. Enjoy your trip without me, but be prepared, even if you come back crying and apologizing. I won't forgive you. I rushed out of the office with my mobile phone. Hey, it's Nancy. Are you free? I need to talk about that hotel booking. With the trip canceled, I had plenty of time to settle everything. Determined, I ran around handling various tasks. The next evening, exhausted, I got home, and the phone rang. Hello. Nancy, what were you thinking? It was Barbara, sounding quite angry. I knew the reason, but pretended not to. Barbara, are you enjoying the trip? This is no time for that. We can't check into the hotel. Did you make the reservation? I canceled it because I wasn't going. Huh? What? Then where are we supposed to stay tonight? I don't know. Barbara's angry voice came through, but since she was in London, her anger over the phone wasn't scary at all. That's tough, being abroad without a hotel. You never know what might happen. It's not the safest place, you know. Wait, help me, Barbara sounded panicked. Then a faint voice in the background said, There's a canceled room. Anthony's negotiating for us to stay there. It was Daniel. Is that true, Daniel? I asked. Looks like it'll be fine, he replied. You see, Nancy, Barbara's voice turned triumphant as if her earlier panic were a lie. Too bad for you. Your plan didn't work. Well, the room was available because... I cut her off. Enjoy your stay, Barbara. Then I hung up, feeling a strange sense of satisfaction despite everything. I canceled it, but this was all part of my plan. My real aim was something else. Glad there was a vacancy. Thought you'd be smug about canceling our hotel, didn't you? Barbara sneered. No, not really. Frustrated, aren't you? You can admit it if you're upset. I just canceled it because I wasn't going. Putting on a brave face. How pathetic. Typical of Daniel's useless wife. Barbara laughed loudly, then continued bragging about the amazing scenery and delicious food. Tired of listening, I quietly hung up the phone. She probably didn't even notice. I smiled a little at that thought. Anyway, just a few more days to endure. I braced myself and had dinner. A few days later, as I was heading to the station, Barbara called again. Hello. What's up, Nancy? What's going on now? Not again. What's wrong with this hotel? What are you talking about? Barbara explained. Thanks to Anthony's negotiation, they stayed in the room I canceled. They were supposed to stay for 4 days and check out today, but there was a problem. They were billed £8,000 by the hotel. So what's the issue? It's £2,000 per night, right? That's about $2,500 per night. Ridiculous. It's for 2 rooms, right? So about $1,200 per room. You told Daniel it was $300 per room per night. Yes, I did, so it should be $600 for 2 rooms. Why is it 4 times more? I was astonished. They stayed without even checking the room rates. Well, I anticipated this. I set it up accordingly. Barbara making a fuss on the phone must have been bothering others. I let out a small chuckle, enjoying the sweet taste of my small victory. I should calm her down. Hey, Nancy, you hear me? Barbara, can you be a bit quieter? Why did you lie? She's good at accusing others without reflecting on herself. Exasperated, I began to explain to Barbara. The $300 rate was because I made the reservation. Huh? So, because it was last minute, I asked a friend who runs a hotel. A friend of yours? Yes, their hotel offers rooms for around $600 for two people. Then why $11,200? That's the rate for a really nice room. My friend did me a favor. A favor. There were no other vacancies, so they arranged a nicer room. So, is this the regular price? Barbara sounded flustered. When I heard from Barbara, there was no time left for the trip, so I told my friend any available room would do. The only vacancy was an expensive suite. My friend kindly gave a discount. Barbara left me behind without asking, so I immediately told my friend the situation and got the room canceled. But I couldn't just leave Barbara and the others without a hotel, so I asked to accommodate them at the regular price if they came. I knew Barbara, having heard about the hotel from Daniel, wouldn't check the price, and I was right. Come on, you should have said that. Yelling won't help. Please make sure to pay. We're not paying. Nancy, you pay. But if you don't pay, you'll be arrested. Arrested? Of course. Troubles abroad can be messy. Are you okay with that? Barbara seemed at a loss for words. As I was about to hang up, thinking I had won, Barbara shouted, "Don't mess with me. You'll regret this when I get back." That's fine, but we're strangers now, right? Huh? Why? Well, you said it was a family trip, so since I'm not there, I'm not family, right? That's different. Before she could finish, Anthony's voice came from the phone. What's all this yelling about? Be quiet, it's embarrassing. Anthony seized the opportunity to intervene. I called out to him, and he noticed and responded, "Nancy, are you okay? How's your cold?" I never had a cold in the first place. Give me that. It seemed Anthony took the phone from Barbara. His voice grew louder. Nancy, can you explain everything? I can, actually. I told him everything from the beginning. His voice gradually lowered. I see. So that's why you didn't come. I'm sorry. I wanted to go. No, Nancy, you're not fault. It's Barbara and Daniel. From afar, I heard a whimper. Barbara and Daniel seemed frightened by Anthony's anger. Realizing this, an idea came to me. Should I tell Anthony what Barbara has been doing? I thought so. Anthony, can I tell you something? What is it? Barbara comes to our house almost every weekend. When she throws away receipts at our place, there are piles of them. What receipts for brand goods? It's fine to buy a lot, but please dispose of the receipts at your place. Barbara wasn't just being noisy at our house. She was secretly buying brand goods and disposing of the receipts at our place to hide it from Anthony, thinking she wouldn't get caught this way. Of course, I'm a witness, so it's pointless. It seemed Anthony didn't know. That's interesting to hear. Also, please tell her to stop bad-mouthing you at our place. She talks about me too. Yes, she says you don't earn much. Dana, too, calls him a useless dad. Anything else? So, I spilled all my pent-up frustrations to Anthony. Of course, some of it wasn't directly related to Anthony, but he listened silently, and at the end, he apologized to me. I'm sorry. Now I understand. Understand what? Why Barbara didn't want to use her card to pay for the hotel. Probably because the cost was much higher than she expected, close to her credit limit. I'm sorry, that was Barbara's voice. Unforgivable, all your wasteful spending, Barbara. I want a divorce. Please don't do that. Anthony's shouting was followed by Barbara's pitiful voice. He also yelled at Daniel, "Daniel, why don't you defend your wife?" Well, that's Don't come to my house anymore. Reflect on this. Alone. Yes, sir. Daniel sounded unusually obedient. Probably, he thought being banished from his parents' house wasn't a big deal. That's when I struck the final blow. So, Daniel, looks like you're going to live alone now, huh? What do you mean? Suddenly, Daniel's voice got louder. He must have grabbed the phone. I moved my phone a bit away and told him the situation. Daniel, I want a divorce. A divorce? You're joking, right? No, I'm serious. I've already sold the house. You sold it. Why would you do that without telling me? That's our house. No, it's my house, but I was paying a mortgage too. No, you weren't. What do you mean? I was giving you part of my salary every month. That was for living expenses. A few hundred isn't enough for the mortgage. Daniel had been giving me a few hundred monthly. It helped with living expenses, but not enough for the mortgage. So I paid it alone. The house was in my name, so there was no room for complaint. This incident made me decide to divorce Daniel. I sold the house full of unpleasant memories of living with him. So, you'll be living alone? Wait, think it over. No, it's decided. I'll contact you once I find a place. Then I'll send you the official notice. Official notice? Of course, I'll be claiming compensation in the divorce. Wait for me. Daniel was crying on the other end, but I didn't care. I hung up the phone. After that, Daniel and I divorced following discussions. Anthony actually divorced Barbara too. Barbara, due to her wasteful spending, didn't get any compensation in the divorce and was left on her own. I was just thrown out of the room. Daniel was nearly broke, apparently having spent everything except the few hundred he gave me each month on frivolities. Now, he's living in a rundown apartment and commuting to work. But things might be better for Daniel than Barbara. With no house or money and Daniel's place too small, Barbara had to take a live-in job. She's working hard from morning till night now. As for me, I'm doing great being single. I have more free time and can handle overseas negotiations. I've become a relied-upon figure at work, even hearing talks of a promotion to department head. Today, I'm busy flying around the world planning new tour packages.